In today's Temu transformations, we're going to take these scratch off stickers to create these scratchy cards. Let's make this. My inspiration for this project is the Scratchie stickers. So I've been seeing these for the last couple of years, and I've seen different YouTube creators doing Scratchie projects, and I thought I'd really want to try one of those. And when I saw them come up on the suggested for you on the Temu site, I thought, why not have a go at them? So I'm going to use mine for a happy birthday, but you could use these if you're having a look at my inspiration here. There's ones there for Christmas, there's birthday ones, you could use this for a whole heap of different things. So let's see what we can create. The materials I'm using today are a light grip and a standard grip mat. We're using both some cardstock, so I'll need the light grip mat for that. And I'm also using some iron-on vinyl, which is the rainbow iron-on vinyl from Enco, and that's why we'll need the standard grip mat. I've also got my little Scratchie circles, or Scratchit circles, that I got from Temu. In our design today, we're going to use Google Images, and we're also going to use, obviously, Design Space. We're going to start in Google Images, and we're going to do a search for birthday cake transparent background. Now, looking for one with a transparent background just means that it's going to be easier for us to get rid of that background. Well, I'm going to do a print then cut for this because I actually want to print the birthday cake. I don't want just the shape because it's going to be the main focus of this birthday card. So this one here, I really like it. It's got great color and all of that kind of stuff. But when I open it in a new tab, you can see that all of those checkered components are still there. So it's not truly a transparent background from Google Images. I think if you went into the website, it would give you the transparent background. So I need to find one that's either got a white background or it's got a proper transparent background. So I've landed on this one here, which is, I really like the blue and the yellow against each other. And then when I open it in a new tab, you can see that it has still got that grey background, but it's going to be easy for us to get rid of. So make sure you save it. Normally I would say to save it as a .png file, so you would change the name to say birthdaycake.png, but I forgot to do it this time. But luckily this time it has saved as a .png. If you don't do that, sometimes you'll find when you go into Design Space that it actually won't upload the image for you because the image is not recognized because it gives us like a .webp sometimes, or there is another one. I'm not sure if that's a Windows thing or just an Apple. Now that I'm in Design Space and I've saved that, I'm going to upload their image. I need to just get rid of that background, and it's just one click. And if I do a preview single layer, you can actually see that it's got rid of everything and it's quite a clean file, which is why sometimes it's good to use a cartoon file rather than a realistic photo. But you could absolutely choose the realistic photo and do that as your image. It's up to you. So I'm just going to save that image as birthday cake, and then I'm going to upload it. Now that it's uploaded, the first thing I'm going to do is do an offset. So I'm going to do I think a 0.5 offset around the edge of this cake. So I'm going to print the birthday cake, then I'm going to do a cardstock offset, and then we're going to do a second cardstock offset around the outside. So this is going to be our first one. Then I'm going to start adding some text. Now, instead of being straightforward text, I'm going to throw in a curve ball by using the curve tool. So I'm going to use the spicy rice font, and then I'm just going to manipulate the font using the curve tool up the top there next to alignment, just to make it look like it's nestled nicely over the top of our birthday cake. Now, to start off with, I was going to do a circle card. So I'm going to go into shapes and I'm going to grab a circle. And I'm going to make that circle quite large so it fits along our whole, over the top of our cake and the happy birthday, and also gives us space down the bottom to do scratch to win a prize. Now you can see as soon as I start doing some alignments that the word happy birthday doesn't actually curve perfectly along that circle, and I don't know what the purpose of that is from the design space perspective, but it's a frustrating thing, but you just got to manipulate it to be as best as you can. So I've first of all aligned the circle, the birthday cake, and the offset in the center. So we've got the whole thing centered fully. And now I'm going to center and manipulate the word happy birthday. So to center the happy birthday, I've clicked on the circle and the word happy birthday, and I've gone to align and center center vertically. So it means that it's in the middle. And then it's just a matter of trying to manipulate that curve to be as close to the edge of that circle shape as possible. I don't think I'm ever going to understand, or I'm ever going to get why you can't just click on and go semicircle and that's perfect. If someone knows the answer to that question, please let me know in the comments below. There's probably some scientific thing. But anyway, I've got it as close as I can. I've got happy birthday in the spicy rice font, and then I'm going to do scratch to win a prize at the bottom. Now, in my head, I thought that if you just did minus whatever the curvature was of the happy birthday, that would work. So if I go minus 73, it should be exactly the same as the happy birthday. But look, it spreads itself out. The letters go skew-if, and it's not that perfect circle. So it is a real major manipulation game for this. But I'm going to change the text to scratch to win a prize, and then I'm going to change the font to Futura. And I'm going to speed this part up. I'm just going to keep manipulating that so it all fits nicely. And then our next step is to create a space where we can put the Scratchie or the Scratch It sticker. So I'm going to put it on the bottom of that plate there. I've started by creating a shape, which is a circle, because that's the shape of our Scratch It. I've changed the shape to 2.5 centimeters, and then I've changed it to a guide. So I've gone up to Operation, clicked on Basic Cut, and turned it into a guide. The reason I've done that is A, so it doesn't print later, and B, it gives us a way of knowing how our words can fit into that circle. So I'm going to manipulate it in terms of our line spacing as well. So not only font size, but also the space between the words dinner and then the is on and then me. So then it fits nicely into that circle. And I'm going to change the font color to red, because I think it matches those red dots that are all over the cake and also the candle. So I'm just going to change that color to red. And then I'm going to click on the birthday cake and the words dinner is on me. And then I'm going to go down and click on flatten. Now that becomes a print and cut as one component, which is exactly what we want. And then the next thing is to get rid of that circle. I don't like the way the words don't fit perfectly along the edge of that circle. So I'm going to create it into a kind of like an odd shape by creating an offset. So I'm doing a 1 centimeter offset around the whole project. And you can see that when I go down to contour, because I want to get rid of those 4 irregular holes, I go down to contour, it won't do that for me. The reason is it's in a print then cut version at the moment rather than a basic operation. So I just have to go up to, a basic cut. So just go up to operation, change it to basic cut, and then you can see I can get rid of all of those contours. So it becomes one solid shape. Then I get rid of the circle, and you can see that it's actually quite large. So I'm just going to change the size. So I'm going to select the whole thing, change the width to 15 centimeters. Then, because I want the happy birthday and the scratch to win a prize, I want them to cut so I don't have to try and work out where they fit. I'm going to attach those. So I've clicked on Happy Birthday and Scratch to win a prize. Then I've gone down to attach. This means that when it cuts, it's going to cut in the right shape. So I can just weed that. It is a little bit of wastage, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue in particular. And then it's a matter of saving it, because we've done a fair bit of work here. So I'm just calling it Scratchie card. And then I'm going to go to make. Before I go to make, though, I've just realised that the dinner on me is now very little. So I'm just going to resize that just so that it's actually readable and it fits the size of our Scratchie sticker, rather than, because it turned into a 1.2 centimetre size. So I'm just doing a little bit of playing around with that before I go on to make. And now that I'm in make, you can see here that I've got the offset of the cake is actually on the print then cut, and that's because I did when you do an offset around a print then cut, it then turns it into a print then cut instead of a basic cut. So you just have to check that before you go on to make, and if you see that that's a bit of an issue, then you'll know why. And then we're just going to go through the 3 different mats. So I've got a print then cut that we're going to send to our printer. Make sure that you add the bleed. This is important for, it kind of helps with your calibration, because if you don't put the bleed around it, you'll find sometimes that you've got a white gap around some components of your image, and so that can maybe look a little bit off-putting. So if you do the bleed, then it kind of auto corrects your color. Then make sure you do system dialog to make sure that you're choosing all of the right. If you're printing this on card, you might want to choose the card option. If you're printing this on, I don't know, sticker paper or something like that, you can choose those options as well. And then make sure that you've got your best print quality on as well. Then we're going to do a copy paper cut for that. With the offsets, I'm just going to do a medium cardstock. I am using a glitter cardstock that I got from KMART a while ago, but it's quite a thin one. It's really nice. I like the cardstock, the glitter cardstock from KMART, but you can just do a regular medium cardstock for that rather than a glitter cardstock. And then the HTV is just an everyday iron-on. Make sure you mirror that though. So now that we've done all the cutting and the weeding, it's just a matter of putting it together. So I'm going to put the rainbow HTV on top of the black cardstock. So I'm just going to place it in the right spot and then just iron it on. I love the idea that you can iron on to cardboard. I think it's a real game changer if you're doing this kind of stuff. A lot less glue, a lot less messy, and more accurate. So I'm just going to speed that process up. How good does that look? I love that rainbow vinyl. I can't believe how good it is. It's just that KMART brand, but it goes on really well. It weeds like a dream, and it just looks really good, particularly against that black background. So now I'm just going to use this glue tape. This one's a Bostik one that I got from, I think, Officeworks. I've also got ones that I've got from Temu that are really good as well. I'm just not sure if it's going to work on this glitter. It seems to slide around a bit, but eventually it does actually work. So I'm just putting it, the reason I'm putting it on the blue glitter rather than putting it on the cake is because I'm worried about that candle ripping, and I don't want that candle to rip. I love how it's cut the candle really, really finely without actually ruining it. So it's actually really cool. And I didn't have the glitter cardstock to start with as my extra layer, but I think it's kind of pops off that light blue of the icing. And the other thing I didn't realize is that this plate was going to be printed separately or cut separately, and it's a little delicate, but I'm just going to use that glue tape, and then I've just grabbed some craft glue as well, just to press down those two extreme edges. But I think it looks really cute. I'm loving this. And then the last thing is to actually put the cake on top of the black background. Now, to start off with, I was going to use some foam tape so it actually jumps up off the black, but then I've realized that my sticker might not actually be big enough for that to happen. So I'm just going to stick it straight down. Now, I might find later on that it actually will work, but that's why I'm sticking it straight down. Otherwise, I probably could have made the blue offset bigger, and then I could have used the foam tape to jump that cake off the black backing. So absolutely do that, because I'm a big fan of using that foam tape to layer cardstock, because I think it looks really cool. And then the last step is to put this sticky scratch it down. So it comes in a roll, I think, of about 100. And all I need to do is just, see, I've never used this before. I assume it comes in the 2 layers. Yeah, it looks like it does. So it looks like it comes in the 2 layers. So one is the light holographic scratchy component, and then there's a thin layer of clear adhesive, I guess, underneath. So all I have to do is put it over the top of the part that says "Dinner is on me." And look, I think it looks all right. I think maybe if I did this again, I'd probably think a little bit more about the placement of that sticker a bit more. See if it would actually fit in. But I think it looks really cool. This is a great idea. What a fun project. I really like the idea of using these scratchy stickers for different things. It'd be a great project for obviously birthday cards, but you could do this as a Christmas gift, or you could do it as a teacher gift, something like that. Kids would love it because it's kind of gives a little bit of mystery. I've seen some that have got the 3 different options. You've got to match them. You could do that kind of thing. But in terms of a project, I think this is a really good project for beginners or people who have been crafting a long time and want to try something new out. But for beginners, we're looking at using HTV to iron onto cardboard. We're using cardstocks. We're looking at offsets. So it's a whole heap of different little skills that you're learning just from one little project. Well, this is the last of my Temu transformations for this year. So if you have got some more ideas, or you've seen some new products on Temu that you'd like me to try out in a Cricut project, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you next week for the part 1 of a 2-part series. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget, you can always jump on my Instagram, head over to my Etsy store, or even check out the videos YouTube recommends for you down below.